No, I don't know. Whoa. Third class. How many classes are there in a day?
Usually five. The I guess we went and got them, but poisoning. He was poisoned only a few hours ago.
A few hours.
I believe he was already dead when the announcement was broadcast this morning, though.
So yeah, the broadcast was a fake. Whether it's someone was puppeting his dead body or it was a pre-recording.
I checked this broadcasting equipment, and it looks like they put the video together from last year's disaster drill footage.
Oh.
Meaning somebody killed the headmaster and gathered everyone else in the gym. Why would anyone... There's no explanation but mere obscene delight and grotesque. I think we may be vastly underestimating the magnitude of whatever's going on. It might be better if we kept this to ourselves for now. I concur. Until we have a proper grasp of the situation, telling the others would only cause unnecessary panic. First Javala, and now the headmaster. Both poisoned. Wait. It said we were asphyxiated, and then somebody suggested poisoning.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's...
It's been decided. Or we're just assuming.
Were they killed by the same person?
Well, at the very least, we were killed by the same means.
More rationally, they must have a reason for killing him and fabricating the broadcast.
How would we have been poisoned? Because, most poisons, you can't just take a swig and instantly die. It takes like a little bit. So supposedly either they tied us up, forced us to drink it or whatever, and then we suffered for a while and died. Or we was slowly being fed to us until we eventually died from it. But where would that have come from?
I don't know.
There's also that bird flu going on. Wait, they did say in the Lost archive, one of the archive notes is that the subject they need has to have a strong resistance to the disease. So could it mean, because we're obviously the current experiment, so do we have a really strong resistance?
We as in Ryota, or we as in...
Javala.
Javala. Well, Javala is dead, but you mentioned resistance to the poison, but you also earlier you mentioned that it was fed to you over time and eventually killed you. Generally, when people are like slowly ingesting poison, they can gain an immunity to it, but they will often get sick from it.
But we died.
Ryota hasn't. He's had stomach aches the entire time we've known him.
Does Ryota have the bird flu thing? And he gave it to us?
No, I know you're asking how we were poisoned. It's possible that we were given the poison as well, but we didn't survive it. But Ryota has always been sick, but he's never died from it. So,
You're thinking he's the experiment?
possibly.
Hallucinogenic report. We have established one of student number 60781's special characteristics. He acts as a neurotransmitter, producing a trance-like state in bystanders. The effect is similar to that of a narcotic.
That was the Angel Boy.
Oh yeah, tripping us out?
Yeah, dragging us into his fantasy world, right?
Yeah, that would make sense. Book. I feel uncomfortable. Where did I come from? Where was I born? Where did I come from? Cut Eye Joe. The fact I am trapped here is the least of the mysteries plaguing my mind. I'm nervous. So I'm pretty sure this is Nageki. Because in a different one, was it this one? He mentions the library. I woke up in a different place this morning. I don't remember well, but it had pale fluorescent lights and a white ceiling. It can't have been the library. Where was I? Okay, so he woke up in a place that wasn't the library, clearly after he had been stuck in the library for a long time, so after he was dead. Either that or it just he remembered being experimented on.
Yeah,
And he dreamed that he woke up there.
possibly.
I just read that. Goodwill Ambassador Selection. Selection criteria for the human ambassador has been forwarded to management, along with a draft of the emergency response manual. Given the risk of influenza, a human with as strong a natural immunity as possible is desirable. The presence of hereditary hemoglobins, whatever, is the most important criterion. Others are detailed in the attached documents. Wait.
So we were specifically selected because we had high immunity to influenza.
It did say selection criteria for human has been forwarded to management along with the draft of the emergency response manual.
So
Was that to the principal? That's why like the wall came up and shit? Something happened and the principal was like, put up the walls, stop everything. Either that or if the principal died before the announcement, like they said, and he died like way before shit went cold, then whoever did know how to shut down the school busted in. And they're like, okay, we're initiating shutdown.
Okay.
5. I think, but I find no answer. I feel as if I have forgotten something very important, as if I promised something to someone very important. So Nageki promised someone. We did start this whole thing by choosing to fulfill a promise we made. Sorry, Yumi. Sorry, I didn't want to cough near you. Carrier aptitude. We have examined the genetic records of the entire student body. None of them exceed 98% compatibility. We are continuing to investigate carrier aptitude levels. We report on the possibility of inducing carrier compatibility in a normal individual next week. Is that why Ryota's sick? Because he was chosen as a carrier? And he's been fucked up ever since because they injected him with some disease?
It sounds like the entire school is just a giant science lab.
Someone did, I don't know about a lab, but someone did say that the school was an experiment. Was it Yuya? Because we got to the point where we were being shot at, and he's like, here's what the fuck was happening. So someone in the student body, I assuming not the human, because it says a normal individual, which normal to them would be a bird. So a bird.
And I guess Ryota is like the most normal of normal birds there are.
Yeah. Underground facility fire. We have temporarily opened the dividing wall in the underground facility at the request of the Biological Science Division. We should be able to reconstruct the circumstances of the fire. Subject 00 remains in cold storage. So someone is frozen.
My guess is that is Nageki.
It could be. And when he gets, like, those flashes, it's not him remembering it's past. It's them, they defrost him a little to test a little something, and then they stick him back in the freezer. It could be that. But it says there was a fire. Okay. We have temporarily closed the dividing wall in the underground facility.
Temporarily opened it.
Underground facility. Probably under the school. Yeah. And there was a fire there. We should be able to reconstruct the circumstances of the fire. They want to reconstruct the fire?
Yeah, a lot of times people will like reconstruct the fire to determine how it was set and how they can avoid it happening again.
Would they actually start the fire?
They would do it in controlled
Okay.
means.
Because I was just saying, are they gonna like try and light the shit up, the school now? Like that's what's happening, is they're doing the test right now. And they put the dome so that it doesn't set the whole city ablaze. Reference bird deceased. The death of Subject 00's relative has been confirmed. His remains are stored in Area D3, Section 1. They are boxed and processed.
Okay. So far, the only person we know of whose family member has passed that they spoke about specifically was, at one point, they mentioned that Ryota's mom died.
At the end of Ryota's path, Ryota's mom died. But, teacher, he didn't say they died. But he was the closest with somebody.
Mm-hmm.
And then they disappeared, and now he feels like he can't love anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it that, like, instead of a lover? Because we talked about the fact that it didn't sound like a lover when he was talking about it. So could it be that his relative? Or, no, that doesn't make sense. Subject 00's relative, which presumably right now is Nageki. Nageki's relative.
But Subject 00, his remains are stored in Area D3. Who's this relative?
I assume because the 00 is in storage, in freezing, right?
Okay, so
It is interesting that it's stored in boxes. We were stored in boxes.
they're stored and boxed.
We were boxed.
Is it possible that 00's relative is Nageki?
It could be, yeah. And Nageki's body, or their remains, are boxed somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And Nageki did die.
You pointed out that every time the doctor or the teacher talked about the person in the picture, he never stated a gender.
No, we said, oh, you must miss her.
Yeah,
but he didn't comment on that, and he never said she was great or he was great.
Maybe Nageki is the teacher's son.
Maybe.
And Nageki is the dead one in boxed and processed, and Subject 00 is the teacher. And
Could be.
you know, the loss of one's child is probably the most devastating thing
But it
a
said,
parent can go through.
they said Subject 000 is frozen.
00. No, the death of Subject 00's relative has been confirmed.
Yeah.
His remains are boxed in storage.
But no, 00 is frozen. Where? No.
No.
Nope. I swear it said that he was frozen. Okay, trans state bystander. No. 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 Section criteria for human ambassador.
No.
No. No.
No.
Subject 00 remains in cold storage. 000 is dead. Or at the very least, he's cryogenically frozen. Okay, so that's that. 10. Homo sapiens resistant capabilities. Adaptability measures for Homo sapiens to be raised an estimate 0.06%. There are fluctuations in
Mammalian.
mammalian evolution rates. We may need 2 or 3 more samples. So someone, because they're talking about resistance capability, were they testing on humans to try and make it so humans could survive the avian flu thing or whatever?
Hmm.
And they're like, oh, more. And they're like, oh, 3 more samples. So more humans are being tested on?
Possibly.
Could we have been one of them? We know from the ending where we died, they're like, oh, she hasn't touched butts with any bird. This is a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Eliminate her. Let's go have coffee.
Yeah.
Oh no, that was at 11. The intelligence agent. We have chosen to let the Dove Party agent who has infiltrated the school operate freely for the time being. That's Yuya. A number of incoming students have proven to be quite fascinating. If possible, please examine the details in the attached document. I do not think they will oppose me.
Me? Is there one person running the show?
I don't know. He says a number of the incoming students have proven quite fascinating. If possible, please examine the details in the attached documents. Could this have been sent by the doctor? Because it was mentioned on multiple routes that the doctor was taking notes of the athleticism of the other birds.
Right.
So, could this be him? He knows that there's someone from the Dove Party here, and he's like, I'll let them live.
Mm-hmm.
Because there are paths where they let him live. A number of incoming students have grown, so that's him, and he's like, I found information, this is interesting, I'll send it over. I do not think they will oppose me. Because he killed them? Or maybe he tried to be like, join our cause, and they're like, nah, and he's like, okay, I guess I have to chop you up. Or it could be someone totally different. I've been feeling better since that nosy girl showed up. I do not think I will find any answers like this, so perhaps it is time to close the curtains. I am fulfilled, just as I was back then. Back then? Back when?
So that is Nageki.
Nageki was fulfilled by
Our
something?
presence.
No, he was just as I was back then. He was fulfilled by our presence, but he was fulfilled before.
By whose presence, though?
Could it be... Like, Nageki's a student and our teacher's a teacher, but assuming that the teacher's love went missing or died or whatever years ago, could it be that Nageki and him were in love? And they felt fulfilled and happy, and then he died?
Mm.
And the reason he sticks around the school is because that's where he met his love, which would be our teacher, but obviously our teacher would have been like a student back then. I hope. It's not a card captor thing. it could, that's the only thing I could think that he feels fulfilled. Because if he killed himself.
Why would he do that, though?
Yeah, if he feels fulfilled. And again, the other option is that he was grabbed, he was experimented on, and was like, I hate this, I'm gonna kill myself. But all he's remembering, he's not remembering dying, he remembers moments where he was fulfilled, which was possibly before whatever made him want to kill himself.
Mm.
He could also have not killed himself. Because he says that, and he's like, I jumped out the window. But we've gotten no proof of that, and he's talked about being on operating tables and shit.
Mm-hmm.
You don't fall out of a window into an operating table. Aves High City bombing. In 2173, the Aves High City building in area A23 Section 1 was bombarded by human extremists. Immediately afterward, the Hawk Party spawned the Earth Crawlers extremist organization. Okay, so humans, some kind of human organization, riled up, and they're like, we're gonna kill a bunch of birds, or we're gonna cause havoc because we're upset or whatever. And then the hawk party, who doesn't like humans, is like, shut up. And the earth crawlers. What are the earth crawlers? Are they the robots because they can't go in the air?
Maybe.
They sent a bunch of robots into the building to kill? Also, I don't know if you noticed, but the page back here, controlled the evolve from no longer under control.
Mm-hmm.
So, whatever that's about, something has evolved from something, and now it's no longer under their control.
Mm-hmm. Can you click on the paper and stuff below?
I don't think I can switch to it. I can try. Oh, no, not that one.
No. I meant down here.
Oh. No. Okay. We were on this one, right? Yeah.
Hold on. That's still is.
What you looking at, Sonny?
That which you cannot have.
No chippies for Sonny.
You can sniff that. I already read this part, but I'll read it again. More rationally, they must have had a reason for killing him and fabricating the broadcast. This must be connected to the quarantine. Since we're finally here, let us search for some clues, Kawara.
Quarantine?
Yeah.
Quarantine, I know what quarantine is, but it makes it, maybe it's just because of COVID, but quarantine makes it sound like they're trying to stop a disease from going out. So could it be...
Don't actually eat my fingers.
Could it be that the disease that they were testing on some of the students got crazy, and if it gets out there, it'll threaten, I don't know, the bird race? So they're like, okay, quarantine them off. They're all dangerous.
Yeah. Right. If Ryota is a carrier, carriers often do not get sick themselves, like with the fatal disease.
Or they get very little of it.
But they give deadly versions of it to everybody else. So maybe Ryota is the out-of-control carrier, and he's spreading the disease himself.
Yeah, it could be that. And he's just been diseasing everyone.
Yeah, but he doesn't realize it. He just sees it as he's always had a weak stomach.
Yeah. Maybe that's why the doctor was killing a bunch of people. Because he's like, you have the disease. I must stop you, stab.
Ryota's mom died. She was also always sickly. I wonder if she had started to be experimented on when she got pregnant with Ryota.
Yeah. Either that or she was seen as successful. So they're like, oh, let's release her out into the wild and see how she does. And then she got pregnant and she had a baby, but then pregnancy fucked her up bad. And the sickness came back. And she died, and now Ryota's super sick.
Yeah.
Because it's, they did say something about hereditary. Something hereditary. Anyway.
Okay. Easier said than done. Every shelf in this office is piled high with documents and papers. Get reading.
Yeah.
Where do we even start?
With Doggo. Grab Doggo, squish.
Incompetent feral. Examine each piece one at a time. Look for anything about emergency procedures, plans of the school. Got it.
We'll go back and look. You go down and I go up. And then other way.
This is distracting. I can't do both. PTA records. That's not it. Demographics for dummies. Nope. Transfer students. Wait, next to that is the human representative?
That's us.
That must mean Javala. And the date is from 2 years ago, right before she enrolled. It's not really related to today's incidents, but it might have something useful. There doesn't appear to be anything about converting the school into a shelter. Anything this large scale would have to leave some sort of paper trail, were it official.
Do you have computers?
Hang on, Sakuya. What are you reading, Kawara? This. The human representative. It's locked, even though none of the others are. A minority representative is no more important than a transfer student or the like, unless that human representative
It is
was
dead.
chopped up and boxed.
Also, you're a transfer student. Are you
Indeed.
not important? Oh, okay.
There's no need to have it sealed up like a criminal record. Okay.